Let's get some prize picks in today, guys. Last night I did not upload a video, but Saturday night's picks did not end up hitting, unfortunately. We just needed one more hits, runs, RBI on Profar, and none of the other slips hit either. Tonight I want to go over a lot because I just had the worst week ever in my Discord in 28 weeks of running it, and I'm about to go through all of that because every Monday, win or lose, I will recap the Discord. If you want to skip to the actual picks, I'm going to leave a timestamp. But if you want to learn or you are in the Discord, I recommend watching this portion of the video. Pretty much no one will show you what I'm about to show you because obviously it's better to hide your losses if you're running a Discord. But as I always am and will be, I will be authentic and show you the losses, the wins, and everything. Before I show you that, guys, I'll show you my profits lifetime just so you know to listen to me. I'm not showing this to flex, but I'm showing this so you guys can actually listen to me. Talking to Princess here a couple months ago before I got limited, and she said your lifetime net winnings are currently $40,708. So on Prizepicks, you could go and ask, what are my lifetime net winnings? A lot of people will not show you this or just edit their Prizepicks slips like all you see on Twitter, but I don't have anything to hide. I'm just going to show you this so you actually listen to what I say in this video. And this is the same reason I'm limited on Prizepicks and cap up more than $5 on any lineup and cannot play more than $25 a day. So let's get onto it on my Discord tracker. So every single week, every single day, I will recap how the Discord went. So even from the very first day, November 20th, 2023, Prizepicks went up 3.4 units, underdog 11. And I do that every single day because you have to hold yourself accountable when you are sports betting. But also I get to be fully transparent with myself, with the people who want to join the Discord, and with the people who are already in the Discord. And the reason I keep this tracker in the description is because you can see how a day-to-day or a week-to-week will go once you're actually in. So that when you do join and you see that you go down 13.6 units in a day, you don't have to worry about it because I go over bankroll management concepts in a Discord, so everyone should be fine on a case like this. That being said, this week was the worst ever, and you could see we went down 45.85 units on Prizepicks. That seems like a crazy number. I'm going to explain why I know we will still recover. So if you're in the Discord, definitely continue watching this. Underdog, I'm not going to talk about because we just had some decent weeks in the past 5 weeks. We're still up 25 units. We had a -1 negative week this week, but it's nothing too crazy. Prizepicks was really the problem this week, and just in general, there is more variance on Prizepicks because as you guys know, I pretty much only play 6 flexes and sometimes 5 flexes and 4 powers. What this means is these are extremely rare to hit, but they pay 25x. What that means is there's going to be a lot of variance. There could be days on days, maybe even weeks where we do not hit a 6 flex. And that's exactly what happened this week right down here. If I scroll all the way to the bottom, May 27th to June 2nd, we did not hit a 6 flex this week and we went down 45.85 units. If we go over to last week, we hit 2 6 flexes and then you're going to see a positive week up 33.8 units. And I know a ton of you have joined recently, so it's very unfortunate that I had my literal worst week ever on this specific week. But this is not the first time I had a very bad week like this. If you go through my week-by-week basis, you're going to see a bunch of other bad weeks. I mean, before this, I was on a 4-week winning streak here, plus 165 units over that 4-week span. But before that one was a -26.1 unit week. Over here, you have a 10.3, a -38.4 week here, which is my worst week ever at the time. But people who stick through it, this is why I always say long-term mindset, always bounce back and make more. So let's say you joined on week 18, you would have went down 38.4 units. I know that is completely discouraging. You join a Discord, you go down 38.4 units after paying a fee. But the thing is, I'm super transparent with this. This is literally linked in the description. You guys could always see this. And I always say this is a long-term game when you're joining Discord because of the fact that 6-mans will not hit every single week. And it is possible to have bad weeks as you see in this week and as you see in the most recent. But had you stayed and kind of drag on throughout the days, it does take some time for recovery because that is a terrible week. But by the 5th week, we're up 36.05 units. We keep going more and more. We're up 64.65, up 139.25, up 141.65, and up 175.45. Now, if we go from week 18 to week 28, that's 10 weeks in the Discord. That is 129.6 units of profit. Basically, what I'm trying to say is there's going to be some heavy negative weeks, but these very, very positive weeks, like something on week 25, 74.6 are going to flush out those really bad days or those really bad weeks. And on a month-to-month basis, I have been up every single month on Prizepicks. These are my stats right here. November was a 52.9 unit. This was only 10 days because I only started November 20th. December, 133.35. January was my worst month and this was still 25 units of profit. February was my best month here at 137.3. And May, despite the fact that I went on a losing streak, as I'll show you in a second, 71.15 units of profit. So all these terrible losing streaks kind of get flushed out by the good days. And in May, you could see these last 5 days here, we went down 34.75 units. But if you were here since May 1st, which I know a lot of you aren't because there's a lot of new viewers on the channel, you would still be up in that month a substantial amount. So you don't really care about these last 5 days when you went on a streak like this in 3 days where you went up 97.4 units, because the units you're making from the previous days are outweighing what you're losing in the further days, and vice versa. Maybe you have a bad day and then the next day is good, or maybe you had a good day and then the next day is bad. As long as on a month-to-month basis my charts are looking like this, I will continue running this Discord and making profit for you guys, assuming you're practicing good bankroll management, which is 1% of your bankroll per slip. So about a $500 bankroll, that's $5 per slip. Don't go putting 10, 25, 30 bucks on each slip. It doesn't make sense. The reason I say this is because on a streak like this, you will be down 45 units, but you still have another 55 units to go. And let's say we do hit a 25x today or tomorrow, we go up like 30 units this week. That is not going to flush out the full 45 units, but by week 3, we'll have already recovered what we lost in this 1 week. And overall, this is not a rare occurrence in the Discord. I'll show you my announcement from the other day. In every single month, I've had some crazy losing streaks. So in November, 4 losing days in a row, went down minus 30.6 units. And as I showed you, I went up that month. I went up every single month. But just to show you all the losing streaks, December, we had 3 losing streaks, one of 25 units, one of 16, one of 21. January was a terrible month. We went down 54.7 units in a 7-day span, which is actually worse than the streak that I'm on right now. But in a week-by-week basis, this is the worst week. We also went on a 24-unit losing streak in that run too, yet still finished up that 25.1 units. Same thing in February. I'm not going to go over all these numbers, but you could pause this and look at this yourself. Look at April though. 4 times we went on a losing streak. Minus 30 units, minus 23, minus 13, minus 24, still finished up 80.5 units. So this is why I preach good bankroll management, because even with all these losing streaks, if you were putting like 2-3% of bankroll on your slips, you would probably be bankrupt. But as I always preach, you don't want to put more than 1% of your bankroll on 6-man. And this is the exact reason why, even when things are looking good, they could always turn south. That being said, we could only go up from here. Let's bounce back as we always do, as you could see by this graph, and go on another 100 units run. So let's finally get onto the board and see what we have for today. It's just going to be one CS2/MLB slip for tonight, and it's going to be a 4-man. So let's go over the hits plus runs plus RBIs, and we're going to be stacking up 2 players here as we always do, because this is the best way to play MLB. And we're going to be going over to the Padres, taking Jake and Jurickson Profar here on the over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs each. We took Profar last time. I believe he was the one guy that didn't end up cashing us. He only ended up getting 1 hit. Let's stack these guys up together. And the reason I stacked them together, because if we go over to the MLB lineups, you got Profar expecting to bat 3rd, and we got Jake expecting to bat 5th. This essentially means if Profar is getting on first base and maybe he gets to second base by the time Machado bats, then it's going to be easier for Jake to run him in, especially if he's already on second base. Or you have other perfect scenarios where Profar is on second base or third base, Jake's on first or second, and then Solano home runs them in, something like that. Obviously, that's a stretch, but I'm just trying to illustrate the point that these guys are extremely correlated because they're next to each other in the batting order. It would make less sense to take Fernando and Solano, for example, because they're quite far from each other in the lineup. So it's not as likely that Solano would be running in Fernando as it is in this case with Jake and Profar. On top of that, if the Padres are doing well as a whole, you might get an extra at-bat for both Profar and Jake, of course giving us another opportunity for an additional at-bat. Now I'm loving the Padres, obviously, as always. They're top of the league in hits. They're also top of the league in at-bats, and they're 8th in runs. But we just want to see as many at-bats as possible, because if Profar is getting another one, it's very likely that Jake is going to be getting another one. That is going to give us a very nice chance to catch both these guys on their overs. Although the Padres do get a lot of hits, runs, RBIs, the reason I'm taking these guys specifically is because if we go over to DraftKings or any other sportsbook, you're going to see juice on both these guys towards the over. And this is what you want to see. Minus 130 on the over, plus 100 on the under. Basically, his over is more likely to happen than his under. And we could actually quantify this. If we go and take this and put it onto a no-vig calculator, which essentially takes out the sportsbook's edge or the juice that they have, you're going to see about a 53% chance that Profar clears that 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs prop on his own. But the fact that we're correlating Profar with Jake means that this minus 130 is likely higher. It's hard to kind of quantify it, but it's higher because if Jake is hitting, Profar is more likely to hit, and vice versa. So both these guys are going to benefit from each other going over their props. And if you go over to Jake, you're going to see he's minus 120, minus 110. So still juice towards the over, but obviously less likely than Profar is. But once you combine them together, we got a very nice stack on this Padres team. So that's going to start off the slip. Double over on the hits, runs, RBIs for both those guys. Moving on to CS2 to finish off the slip, we're going to be grabbing a stack here and to stack CS2. So for this specific stack, we're going solid versus case. And the first pick I'm going to go with is this guy here, Jariba, on his over 28.5 map 1-2 kills. The way I choose this specific player compared to Destiny, GBB, or LCM is I go over to Underdog and I compare this line to Prizepicks. And you can see he's set at 29.5 on Underdog, while he's set at 28.5 on Prizepicks. So we want to get at least a point of discrepancy from somewhere, comparing it to any of the other DFS sites so that we could see, are we getting at least some sort of value on this specific play, on top of the fact that we're getting that correlation effect when we combine them with another over from Case. So on Case, I'm not actually liking any of the regular map 1-2 kills props, but I am liking a headshot prop, which again is still correlated with the map 1-2 kills, because the more rounds there are, the longer the games are, the more likely these guys get more kills, thus more headshots. So it's all the same thing. If we go over to RCF, we're going to grab them on the over 9.5 map 1-2 headshots. Again, we compare this to Underdog. We're getting a half point of a discrepancy, set at 10.0 headshots here, set at 9.5 on Prizepicks. This is a very simple 4-man here, but it's the best way to build 4-mans. Stack on the Padres and stack in CS2. Good luck, everyone. This is going through the slip for today.